All-Star game, All-Star weekend for the NBA. Did you check it out? How much did you consume of this? And did NBC tell us all we need to know about where the NBA stands or where the Olympics stand, because they put the All-Star Saturday night on and Saturday afternoon? I mean, that thing started at 1 o'clock Pacific time, where the game was, where the All-Star Saturday night was.
Yeah, I watched precious little of this.
Yeah?
I watched basically none of the All-Star weekend festivities. I popped in on the game. I watched the game for a little bit. Looked slightly more competitive, maybe than I had seen in the past. But it was
a lot of competitive reviews.
But at the end of the day, I'm still watching it and going like, this doesn't pull me in at all. And it sucks because it used to be NBA All-Star Weekend used to be the top one for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I loved it because you got the dunk contest. That was great. You got the three-point contest. Awesome, fun. You'd get to see all sorts of, even though it was an exhibition, you got to see players do things. I will always remember the Tracy McGrady dunk off the backboard to himself in traffic. Do you remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
Where he's coming up to the three-point line and he just very casually underhands it off the bottom of the backboard, comes and dunks. You saw guys doing things that were just, it was fun. It was a fun experience. It was a fun game. And it sapped all of it. All the All-Star games have done it. I don't really have an interest in the MLB All-Star game anymore. And part of it I wonder is just if it's age. The older I'm getting, the more it's just like, this was cool to me when I was younger.
All-Star games are for kids. They always have been for kids. Kids like them, and that's what they're geared towards. You know, I think these leagues just need to accept that. The leagues don't want to accept it. The reason the baseball All-Star game is to the test of time is because you can't fake it. You can't fake baseball. It's just like you're throwing 90. Okay, I mean, like you're not going to go out there and throw 82. You know, you're not going to do that. You know, in basketball, you can just not play defense. In football, not play defense. Hockey, same thing. You know, you can get out there and just not play any form of competitive defense. Baseball, you can't really do that. Players want to hit and pitch. Like, that's it. You're not going to look at scouting reports. You're not going to maybe dive for some balls, but
you're no longer going to get Pete Rose running into Ray Fosse to
no, and that was stupid anyway.
Yeah, it was, but you're not getting that sort of intensity in All-Star games. It's just It doesn't happen. You can't make them like, oh, this means more. You can't do it, and that's just the reality of where it's at.
Look, I'll be honest. I watched a lot more of Saturday than Sunday. Sunday we were at baseball, and then we were driving the kids around to various things, so we didn't get to see much of the All-Star game yesterday. But I did tune into Saturday night or Saturday afternoon because it was raining, and that'll be one of my worst of the weekends was the weather on Saturday.
It was awesome. It was great. I love those sleepy, steady rain weekends.
I like those sleepy, steady Wednesdays. I don't like it. I don't like it on weekends. We have a finite number of free days left in our life. I want to be able to maximize. I need sunshine on the weekend, but more on that at 7:40. The dunk contest may have been the worst thing I've ever seen. I've never thought I would say this. We needed Mac McClung.
Oh, come on. It had E40 in it. Hip-hop legend. Yeah. Captain Save-A-Ho.
It had nothing. You had a guy did a dunk from the circle and a regular dunk, like a regular old LeBron in-game dunk from the circle, and that was all he put up there. It wasn't from the free throw line. It was from the circle. Inside the circle. It was one of the weakest dunk contests. I still like the three-point. You can't fake the three-point, right? You're shooting the basket. Nobody's trying to miss. Nobody's trying to miss. It's still pretty good. And a guy who's not even playing wins it in Dame. But so I enjoyed the three-point. That I've always liked it. I've never thought the three-point contest was bad. The skills contest, nobody cares about. The dunk contest, they just can't get anybody to do it. That was bad.
That's the biggest
bad.
problem. They can't find anybody to do it. I did like the fact that the guy who won it, Kashad Johnson,
Who he play for?
Miami. He looked.
Did you know that going in?
He plays for Miami. He looked thrilled to be there. Like he looked thrilled to present. I like the energy, at least. I like the positivity. I like the fact that he's an Oakland kid, he's a Bay Area kid, and he brought E40 out. I think that's cool. He's like showed respect to his roots or whatever. I think I enjoy that aspect of it. There was a cool video of him on social I saw afterwards where he's on FaceTime and his parents after he won. He's getting really emotional about it, and they're getting emotional, and that's cool. I like seeing those sort of stories. That's great. But yeah, the days of the Aaron Gordon sort of back and forth dunk contest, we're not getting as much of that anymore.
No, we're just not.
This is what happens to the dunk contest too, though. It goes through a lull and then somebody revives it. Someone always comes along and makes it rejuvenated.
But for them to do the All-Star Saturday night and Saturday mid-afternoon, just so they can get back to Tarico as fast as possible, told me all I needed to know about where the ratings were going to be. Plus, I think you had. There was some figure skating on. That's always the big draw in the Olympics.
Sure.
It really is. That's their ratings maker. But I'm not for men generally. It's the women tune in like crazy to that, myself included. I watched last night, little pairs figure skating. We can do more of that here coming up at 7:00. But Adam Silver addressed the tanking issues. That's one of the issues, hitting the NBA the hardest.
Issue.
It is the issue. It is what is getting Adam killed by even the basketball people. Even the people who stand for the league as much as they can, like the Nick Wrights and the Bill Simmons, they're turning on Adam Silver.
Dan Patrick torched him last week. That was really bad for them. But, yeah, this is an instance of I always – what's my nickname for him, Chop?
Adam Silver?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know.
Man, how have you missed this? Peyton, you remember it?
Dr. Evil.
No. Sean's the only one. Look at you two. Checked out all the time.
He's
Commissioner 2.5. That's what he is. He's never going to count to 3 on you. 1, 2, 2.5, 2 3/4. He's that parent.
Yeah.
That's what he is with the players.
That's the kind of parent I am.
And he is, so you should love him. But this is if he is talking about something, if he's addressing something, it's reached a critical juncture. If he's addressing it,
DEFCON 1.
Not only if he's addressing it, if he's willing to talk about it. Think about how long it took for him to talk about the Kawhi Leonard, Pablo Torre stuff. Like, that took a long time for him to even address it. And then when he did, he tried to just go, never mind, it's nothing. This, he's addressing it, and he's addressing it as an actual problem. So the Jazz and the Pacers have both been fined 6 figures for, quote, overt tanking. NBA Commissioner, this is from ESPN, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver told reporters 2 days later during All-Star Weekend in Inglewood that the league's observed worse tanking behavior this season than it's seen in recent memory. So he's saying it's worse than it has been in a long time. He says there's talk about every possible remedy now to stop this behavior. He said, we're going to be looking more closely at the totality of all the circumstances this season in terms of the team's behavior and very intentionally wanted teams to be on notice. Talking about the reasons not to do it or the penalties that they've got out there, he said the incentives are not necessarily matched here. I think the tradition in sports where the worst performing team receives the first pick from their partners, when any economist comes and looks at our system, they always point out you have the incentives backwards there. That's something that I've heard suggested before. You want to flip tanking,
incentivize winning.
The number 1 pick goes to the title winner. Like, that's how you do it. You start the champions rich get richer. The teams that make the playoffs get the top picks in the draft.
No, I thought we don't want the rich to get richer.
No, but this is the question about the incentive. I don't. Clearly, they've tried to tweak stuff with the draft. They've tried to change things there to change the incentives, whatever else you have there. That's clearly not done enough. They've got to figure out there's something else here that they've got to be able to figure out that will resonate with teams somehow. It's just most teams go, yeah, sure, I'll take the penalty. Like, we've got to get our resources in order, and this is how we do it. Dallas is in that position right now.
Yeah, so there's a way that you could do it. Like, baseball does this. Tell me what you think of this one. So there's a rule if you don't finish in the top or outside the bottom 10 for X amount of years in a row. So like if you let's say you're in the lottery in the NBA for 3 straight years.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the lottery for 3 straight years in the NBA, the new rule could be, all right, that 3rd year, or I guess that 4th year, you can't pick inside the top 14.
Baseball like.
So baseball does that. We're like, so the White Sox, the Pirates, San Fran this year can't pick inside the top 10. Right? That's just the rule. They finished in the bottom 10 too many times, or they haven't spent money X amount of years, or their market size indicates they should be better than they are, like in the case of Chicago, like in the case of San Francisco. All right, I like that. You're not incentivizing them to tank. But the reality is that, analytics have done a lot of good, but also a lot of bad, because now they have a lot of guys in there who are like, well, we're not, the macho athlete's like, I want to win. And the analytic nerd is like, no. It's not necessarily about winning. It's about building your franchise, right? So it's win now versus.
Well, for a lot of the players too, it's I don't give a damn what you want. I'm playing this.
Right. Yeah.
Because for them, it's like I'm the one who has to go out here and lose.
It's their stats. It's their legacy. Right.
Well, it's just as competitors, too. I imagine they go out there and they go like, I don't like losing in the name of an organization that's trying to probably replace me with these younger, cheaper players. So why would I do that for you?
Yeah, so why would they want to? So it's a tug of war, and that's a problem. It's a problem. And part of the problem is that the people who are in charge of the lineups are just saying, all right, no, just sit them. And you can't play if your coach tells you no. If the coach makes you inactive, you can't go out there and play.
I mean, look at the Max Crosby situation.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
He wanted to play. They told him no.
At the end of the day, they're in charge. They're the team, and that's part of the problem.
Well, and that's why the league's trying to address this as best they can. It feels like with financial penalties now and everything else. It's just a lot of teams are showing you, I don't care. Okay, cool. Do it. The only way that you're probably going to be able to get this and this is probably too extreme a measure, but the only way you're likely going to fix this is you have to start taking picks.
Yeah, like kind of what they do in baseball, but I don't know.
You have to start docking picks for tanking.
So you just no picks that draft.
Or write something in that says, all right, teams that start tanking, you are now, if you are tanking in the middle of a year and we deem that you are doing this, you're blocked from getting in the top 6 or whatever. Like those are the kind of solutions they're gonna have to start looking at.
I'm down with that. I also like relegation.
There we go.
Go back down to the G League. Sioux Falls Skyforce, you're up.
Yeah, you want Choppy singing Adele songs over your games?
Idaho Stampede, come on down. Texas Legends. You're in the American Airlines Center. Let's go.
There you go.
That's how you got to do it.